Peace and blessings be upon you, dear friends. Welcome to a new episode of your channel, Ummah. Today, we're diving into a topic of profound significance, the signs and omens that preceded the arrival of Muhammad. Peace be upon him. The world whispers, and secrets begin to unfold. Have you ever felt that the walls of reality we see hide another world behind them? That invisible threads are orchestrating events, and unseen forces are drawing the paths of destiny. More than 1400 years ago, the world wasn't merely a clash of kingdoms or marketplaces buzzing with people. It was a stage for something far deeper, a cosmic preparation awaiting 0 hour. Humanity was stumbling in darkness, misguidance in belief, corruption in hearts, and oppression tightening its grip. The hearts were barren lands, waiting for a drop of dew to change their fate. In the midst of this drought and loss, there were whispers, cryptic signs, fleeting glimpses only seen by those with purified souls or deep vision. The entire universe was waiting. The earth breathed heavily under the weight of evil, and the sky held its breath, preparing to deliver the greatest trust. It wasn't coincidence, but a destined decree, woven in secrecy for thousands of years, echoed in the prophecies of the ancients. But how? Where? And when would the familiar boundaries be broken? Before the birth of the light, great question marks began to appear on the pages of existence. Not mere random events, but tremors, unseen quakes shaking the foundations of the reality humanity had come to know. In the very year when the one destined to carry the message was born, something extraordinary happened that made the Arabs stop and ask. A mighty army led by Abraham marched to destroy the most honored house on earth, the Kaaba. And suddenly, that army became a cautionary tale, crushed by an unseen power, birds in flocks, pelting them with stones of baked clay. Why exactly did this happen in that specific year? Was it mere historical coincidence, or divine protection of a place tied to a coming destiny? And on the same night he was born, in the heart of the mighty Persian Empire, a symbol of power and pagan grandeur, the eternal flame in a Zoroastrian temple, which had burned for centuries, suddenly went out. Can you imagine the scene? Thousands of priests trying to reignite it, to no avail. That same night, balconies of the palace of Khosrow crumbled, and Lake Sawa, sacred to them, dried up. Was nature rebelling? Or was a distant birth altering the balance of the world? These mysteries were scattered along life's path, a sign in the skies of Mecca, others in the palaces of kings and temples of foreign lands. They were encrypted messages announcing that the rules of the game were changing, that a supreme force was intervening to set the stage, all pointing to one thing, or one person. A birth under the wing of destiny, and a childhood under divine care. And at the heart of these mysterious omens, in Mecca, in the year of the elephant, a child was born who would puzzle the minds, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. He was not born into a royal palace nor a wealthy home, but orphaned and poor. His father died before seeing him, and his mother soon followed. Was this weakness or divine choice? As if fate intended him to be unbound from the worldly ties that occupy others, to be connected to heaven alone. He lived under the care of his grandfather, the leader of Mecca, then his uncle Abu Talib, a modest household, yet one guarded by an unseen protection. This boy, then young man, grew up unlike those around him. He didn't drown in the ignorance that consumed his peers. He never bowed to an idol, never approached the immoral practices of his people, as if his heart was wrapped in a special light, shielded from the world's corruption. He was a mystery walking the earth. Outwardly human, a trader mingling with people, but inwardly unmatched purity. People saw honesty and trustworthiness in him. They called him the truthful, the trustworthy. A title they gave based on how he lived among them, not realizing this was the essence that God had prepared for a greater mission. His honesty in trade reflected the honesty of the great message he was destined to carry, revealing glimpses and destiny unfolding step by step. His life's path was anything but ordinary. In his few travels outside Mecca, fate placed in his way those who saw the light within him. In Syria, a monk named Bahira saw in him signs he had never seen in anyone else. He recognized from his sacred knowledge that this young man was the prophet of this nation, and urged his uncle to protect him. These were just glimpses, secrets revealed to a select few, confirming that this man was not merely an honest merchant, but the subject of something far greater. a destiny written in the books of heaven. Then came stability in his life through his marriage to Khadija, the Lady of Mecca, who saw in him what none else had, and loved and honored. She was the support prepared by God to stand beside him in the hardest times ahead. She was part of the mystery that would unfold, and the first to believe when the secret was revealed. In the cave of Hira, where the heavens whispered and the earth waited. As he neared the age of 40, the age of matured consciousness and spiritual clarity, the hidden call within Muhammad, peace be upon him, grew stronger. Mecca, with all its noise and paganism, no longer matched his soul that longed for the divine. He sought peace, answers to the great questions that filled his heart about the universe, its creator, and the state of mankind. He secluded himself, heading to the cave of Hira on Mount Nur, a dark, isolated cave far from life's clamour. He didn't go to perform rituals, but to reflect deeply, to disconnect from the human world and connect with the divine realm, seeking absolute truth. These retreats were intense spiritual training, refining the soul and preparing a human self to carry what mountains could not bear. Stronger signs began to appear, true visions in dreams, manifesting clearly in reality like sunlight. It was as if he was being trained to receive the unseen. He felt the great moment approaching, the long wait nearing its end. The world was heedlessly waiting, but the pure heart in Hira was awake and ready. The heavens were opening, and the earth was holding its breath. All that came before, cosmic omens, a wondrous childhood, unmatched character, revealing journeys, reflective solitude, was just the beginning. Pieces of a puzzle coming together, and fate placing the final touches on the most important scene. That night, in the heart of that dark cave, time would pause for a moment, and the secret that changed existence forever would be revealed. In the next episode, we journey to the cave of Hira, to live the moment when the trustworthy spirit descended upon the heart of humanity's most trustworthy soul. Stay tuned. As the clock strikes midnight, Mecca time, for a new episode of Ummah, where the hidden is unveiled and the unseen is illuminated.